It's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. We have the consultation meeting with the economic operators at the Chamber of Commerce with the Ministry of Commerce. For the international scene, 7 years later, Chibok girl still unfound in Nigeria. Welcome to our newsroom. The message of congratulations to the President of the Republic by the High Representative of the Wise Men of Obok, Abdul Qadir Dawood Muhammad Said Abdul Sultan, addresses in the name of the Committee of the Wise Men of Obok and thus in the name of the population of Obok. It's a warm congratulations to the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Gelle, for his overwhelming victory of the first round of the presidential elections of April 9, 2021. The representative of the elders of Obok, Abdul Qadir Dawood Muhammad, added that there is also reason to congratulate the director of campaign for the Obok region, Mr. Qasim Harun Ali, and his team, who have done hard work in a campaign as intensive as effective. Finally, the representative of Obok Wise Men, Abdul Qadir Dawood Muhammad, prays to Allah the Almighty to accompany you, Mr. President, in the accomplishment of the regal prerogative that have been once again assigned to you by the sovereign wills of the Djiboutian people in order to lead our beautiful nations to happiness. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Commerce, Mr. Ali Dawood Abdu, chaired this morning at the Chamber of Commerce a meeting with the economic operators of the country to inform them on the prices of basic commodities. This meeting was aimed at operators to comply with the mercurial set up by the legislations of the Ministry of Commerce. The meeting was attended by several economic operators such as oil producer, the President of the Union of Importers of Fruit and Vegetables, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Commerce, Ali Dawood, warned traders that no inflation or price increases will be tolerated without justifications. If this is the case, will be reprimanded and sanctioned. For his part, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Commerce, Mr. Ali Dawood, explained that they have noted a slight shortage of fruit and vegetables such as oranges, which was prevented by the closure of the Suez Canal, and the prices of watermelons, which has increased slightly. After the official launch of the national vaccination campaign against COVID-19 on March 15, the Minister of Health proceeded today to the launch of the second phases of the vaccination campaign, which is currently underway in the various health structures. Vaccination units have been deployed to cover all the facilities in the city of Djibouti. About 15 nurses, doctors, and resuscitators in COVID-19 services have been vaccinated by the mobile team, but at their disposals by the Minister of Health. Indeed, medical staff are a priority target because they are exposed to the risk of infections with COVID-19 and are likely to transmit the infections to the patient they care for, the patient in their care, some of whom are a high risk of serious illness, complications, and deaths. At the same time, vaccine centers offers the vaccination services to people aged 55 years old, over with and without comorbidity. It is in this sense that communication cells have been set up in the different health structures to raise awareness among medical staff, as well as the participation of the President of the High Council of Fatwa, Mr. Sheikh Abdurrahman Muhammad Ali Shamsuddin. The President of the High Council of Fatwa, Sheikh Abdurrahman Muhammad Ali Shamsuddin, who sensitized the medical personnel but also the general population to be made vaccinate even during the blessed month of Ramadan. He indicated that the vaccines had nothing to do with the breaking of the fast. The National School of Judicial Study organized it in the amphitheater of the university for the future magistrate and clerks. At the end of this competition, the first cohort of judicial auditors and clerks in training will integrate the school. The National Schools of Judicial Studies participates in the consolidations of the academic or professional skills of magistrates, court officers, and any other similar professions related to the legal judicial file. Let us recall that it is in July 20 that the National School of Judicial Studies was created in Djibouti. It is the first time in Djibouti that such a school is born. Its mission is to train the magistrates professions in its various functions by acquiring fundamental skills, knowledge, and interpersonal skills so as to meet the expectations of the Djibouti's litigant with the ability to deliver justice with fairness and discernment. For his part, the Director General of the National School of Judicial Studies has indicated, Mr. Maktire, has indicated in his interventions the National School of Judicial Studies participate in the consolidations of the academic professional skills of magistrates, court officer, and any other similar professions related to the legal or judicial file. We have just learned the death of Abdul Qadir Abdullah Musa, known as Abdul Qadir Mabla, who died yesterday morning in Djibouti following a short illness. The deceased is very well known in the capital. Was born in 1953 in Mabla in the regions of Tajura, where he began his school including elementary school and college. After obtaining his baccalaureate, later Abdul Qadir Mabla continued his university studies in France and obtained his university degrees in 1984 and returned to his country. His long professional career began in 1986 at EDD, where he was first responsible for customers and then head of the commercial department before becoming the administrative director until his last day. The deceased leaves behind him a widow and 4 children, one of whom is a daughter. The management of RTD and all its staff send their condolences to the family, friends, and relatives of the deceased. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. For the international scene, 7 years after their abduction by the Boko Haram group, 100 of Chibok girls remains unaccounted for. It has been 7 years since the hundreds of Chibok schoolgirls were abducted by the jihadist group of Boko Haram in northeastern Nigeria. But despite the year, more than 100 of them still remain unaccounted for. On the occasions of the sad anniversaries, the parents of these children once again asked the Nigerian government to redouble its efforts. The government and authorities must make convergent effort to save our girls by the grace of God. This is my own wish and desire, said Mariama Ezekiel, who is still waiting to see her daughters. They bring back our girls committee, born from the hashtag Serapa, to demand the returns of 276 girls who were abducted in 2014, has multiplied calls for mobilization, asking for more actions from the Nigerian authorities. And to close up this edition, Joe Biden has confirmed withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan after 20 years of war. The time has come to end America's longest war. Joe Biden has confirmed Wednesday the withdrawal of all U.S. troops from Afghanistan by the 20th anniversary of the 11 September 2001 attacks that prompted the U.S. interventions. The time has come to end this endless war, he said in a solemn speech for the White House, stressing that he was the first American president to manage the American military presence in Afghanistan. He promised not to pass on this responsibility to a fifth, judging it futile to wait to create the ideal conditions for a withdrawal. The United States will begin its final withdrawal on May 1st, but will not leave in a hurry, continued the 46th President of the U.S., whose decisions had been announced the day before by his team after weeks of consultations. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.